Hello, I am Kezia from The Whole Home. I'm going to take you on a tour of our little garden. We bought this house back in May and it has 1/3 of an acre, which is incredibly hard to find in this area in our budget. We searched for a very long time and we are incredibly fortunate to have this space to grow, to keep our bees, and eventually to pop some chickens down at the end. But I thought I would give you a little tour of what it looks like now and show you what we've been working on. Initially, we did not think we would be here for the autumn, the fall, so I haven't planted much. It is a very bare garden, but it's given me the chance to get it really ready for next growing season, make it exactly how we want it. We are doing this on a shoestring, zero budget really. I have paid for seeds so far and nothing else much. We got these planters I will show you down here off Facebook Marketplace a really long time ago, and they have sat waiting. Initially there were some tractor tires here. I didn't love the aesthetic of tractor tires, and I'm not one for switching things out purely for aesthetic, but I will be able to hand the tires off to someone else so they won't go in landfill, which is important to me when we're making changes in our home. I also, if I was planting flowers, would be less concerned, but if we're growing veg, I didn't know about leaching from the tires into the soil, and so I wanted to switch those out for a simple raised bed. So we have done that. And we've also created a space at the bottom. You can see them there for 2 beehives. They were living at my parents' house on a lot of acreage, which is kind of ideal for bees, but this season they need to be fed, and so I wanted them close to home so I could just do that without thinking. So they're here and I made this space for them. There wasn't an obvious space in the garden for them. They need to be away from neighbors, away from where the kids are playing, and also get sunlight, which we have the beauty of all these trees, so I had to find a good spot for them. I actually ended up cutting a lot down to make a spot where they would get sunshine from morning till night, but also be away from everything. So I was really happy that I was able to find a good space and they could come home. So I will take you on a tour and we will look at what we've been doing. This is what the garden looked like after a summer of getting very overgrown and us doing nothing with it. This is a pond, which we're going to take out. I just don't want that risk. And then these are the tire planters, which are also going to go, but so overgrown you can't even see them. So the first task was to harvest the potatoes. These had grown sprouts in my fridge before we moved, and I just threw them in this bed here when we arrived. The plants had died. They were ready to harvest. We got those out, and then this is the pond with the liner, the rocks, and all the pond plants removed. The soil though in there is really sandy and bad quality, so I then moved to adding compost to that planting area. We moved in and found 2 bins of almost ready to go compost, so after the summer it was ready, and I found an irrigation system while I was doing this, which was just a gift. In a garden of this size in England, irrigation is just a luxury, but it was a really happy find. I was so excited to neaten up this tire area and get rid of them. I kept telling Jared, I don't need a Christmas or birthday present. This is the most exciting thing that could happen. We took the soil from the tires, popped it in the raised beds. This can be such a high cost associated with installing raised beds. We were really lucky that we could just transfer the soil and didn't have to buy any extra. And also because they're sitting then on soil, they didn't need to be that deep. So I split them apart so we could have 6 planters instead of 3 and get rid of all the tires. All right, my goal today, to make a spot for my bees. So our garden is relatively narrow in terms of thinking about neighbors and bees, but we don't have any neighbors right here on this side. So, and it's a little kind of corner where we don't particularly go and the kids don't run, so I'm thinking that this is where we're going to pop the bees. It drops off down in here, but it still has decent sunlight, so I'm going to clear this out a bit and hopefully make a spot that my 2 hives can sit. Okay, round 1 of hacking it down. I chopped a lot and I now feel good about this being a little apiary area. They'll sit down here and it's, you can see, tucked nicely away. So we'll clear that out, put something down for the hives to sit on and bring them over. Here they are, we've just got them home to their new homes. I taped up the fronts with a soft cloth in their entryway to keep them all in without any of them getting hurt, and then just taped all the entrances, and then I'm going to undo them. Okay, that's it. Thanks for joining for a little garden tour update of what we're doing. I'm a novice at all of it: gardening, beekeeping, compost making, chickens, the lot, but I'm learning as I go, and it's exciting to get to share what we're doing with our little third of an acre that I'm determined to do as much with as we possibly can. So thanks for joining.